What traditions do you take from your childhood into adulthood? Especially when it comes to like big seasonal events. We don't follow family traditions the same as we did in the UK. Since we moved to Cyprus, when was it? 2013. We have been building new traditions around events and seasons. Ones that work for us, not that work for our families before we moved away from them. So, my husband is not a big roast dinner fan. And to be quite honest, in Cyprus that's really easy to stick to. It's too bloody hot most of the year to have a roast dinner. More so, he's not a big fan of doing a big roast dinner on Christmas Day. Because when you don't get an awful lot of holidays, and your holidays run January to December, so you've not got much left by the end of the year. Who wants to spend most of one of their few remaining days off preparing a massive meal that will send everyone to sleep and give them indigestion for 3 days? Now, we didn't completely cut off the idea, but as soon as we had children, or a child, we decided that doing a big family Christmas feast just wasn't working for us. When you want to sit and play with your child, but you've got to make sure that you've got your potatoes and your sprouts and your carrots and everything else cooking at the right time so that it all comes together at the same time. No. We don't want to do that. So, unless somebody else is making Christmas dinner, we're not participating. And we've tried to go that way for at least the last 8 years. Now, when we have family to stay, we can't really get away with that. A couple of years ago, my parents came. Nope, they were not having it. They wanted to have the big Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. And to be quite frank, I let my sister and my parents do most of it because it's not something we wanted. Now, if we have to do it in future, I want to adopt the alternate day. If we're going to have the big meal and everything, I would rather do it on Christmas Eve. The night before children open presents and want to play and want to show everybody everything. Because you've got all these new things. I'm talking as a child now. You've got all these new toys and you want to play with them all and you want to show people and get excited. And for most of the day, you've either been told, not right now, I'm cooking. Not right now, I'm tired and I'm full, so I can't get on the floor and play with you. Or they're asleep. Now, how much fun is that for a kid? And even from my own perspective, I remember doing that. And we just don't think it works. So, if I have to do the Christmas dinner, it will be on Christmas Eve. No ifs, buts or maybes. We've got away with it for the last couple of years because my parents tend to alternate years. They will share Christmas between like 1 year in the UK with my brother and his kids, 1 year over here with me and my child and my sister, because I was cruel and convinced my sister to move away from the UK. It's all my fault. So that's one tradition that we have stepped away from. The other one is one that we've adopted, and it's an Icelandic one. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but Jólabókaflót. I've actually heard an Icelandic person say it, and I still don't think I can pronounce it right. And the literal translation is Yule Book Flood, and it's basically surrounding the whole publishing schedule in Iceland, and the fact that there are months of no sunlight. There's not much else you can do. So people give books on Christmas Eve. We love this. We are a book family. We like to read. I love to read, my husband likes to read, and my son likes books. Up until now, it's been mostly likes being read to, but he's actually started reading to himself at night. I'm so proud he is his mother's son. But it is something we have been doing for the past 4-5 years now. Even when all we were buying my son was like picture books and pop-up books, he would still get a book on Christmas Eve. And we would read it to him. And he enjoys it. And it's fun. This year, I have Leviathan Wakes. And if you've seen the TV show, The Expanse, it's the first book that show is based on. And I have to read all of the series of books because I want to know all the crap that was going on when the TV series ended. Because they abruptly cut it quite short. And I want to know all the other stuff that was going on. So I'll be reading that. We have bought my son Reaper Man because he wants to go as the Grim Squeaker on the next World Book Day. Awesome. But he's got to understand where the Grim Squeaker comes from. Chances are I won't even start with Reaper Man. I will start with more and work through the Death books. Yes, Mummy's a Terry Pratchett fan. But they're just two traditions that we have altered to suit ourselves. Because the ones we grew up with don't work for us as a family. As a nuclear family unit, away from the broader influences of extended family. Now, if my sister still lived with us, she would still want us to do a Christmas dinner. Thankfully, she's living with her boyfriend now. And she won't make me do Christmas dinner. She can be very persuasive and very annoying when she doesn't get her own way. However, I will compromise with Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve. If you want to argue with me on that one, go somewhere else for Christmas dinner. I am not taking time away from my son, especially while he's still a child, to cook a big meal that will just send everyone to sleep. Don't get me wrong, when I was in the UK, I thoroughly appreciated going to the pub on Christmas Day. I just didn't like the big meal afterwards. It always upset me. Everyone always fell asleep. What is the point of having a family around if they're all asleep? And then you've got all the tidy up and trying to convince people to have dessert that was made, even though everyone's so full they would burst if they ate anything else. Nah. Not doing it. So, our Christmas Day has become what we used to do with my grandparents. Oh, this is a long time ago now. rather than having two huge feasts on Christmas Day and Boxing Day and New Year's Day, yeah, this was our family ritual. We did, or sorry, should I say, my granddad did a joint of pork, and we would have pork sandwiches and assorted extras on Boxing Day. Now, if you're from Sheffield, you will know that they are quite famous for their pork sandwiches. And my granddad was too. Many moons ago. He died 15 years ago. And I still miss him. But he was an awesome cook. So that is our new tradition. Christmas Day is just roast meat, sandwiches, awesome. And it's so simple. Traditions are weird, aren't they? You do them year after year after year, just because you always have, or your family always did. But as soon as you move away from that influence, or the necessity to keep it up, it's amazing what can happen to make life easier. And I'm all about making life easy. I don't like overcomplicating things. Don't get me wrong, I actually like Brussels sprouts, but I can have those whenever I like. So I'm not going to force anyone to eat them on Christmas Day. Not even with bacon and chestnuts, even though that's delish.